I hate to start off with this, but I have to ask, like, take us through what happened right at halftime, and on the same scale, like, how do you balance, wanting to keep guys out of trouble versus, telling them defend your teammate, defend your quarterback?
Well, I think it starts there. I think I didn't see it. I was watching the play down the field to see if there was pass interference on the player if we made the catch, and then guys are like, "Hey, I mean, they really." I got told they hit him late, and you know what? I mean, our guys are going to defend their quarterback, and I think our guys started to do that, and then I think. Unfortunately, you're at a play where, if that's a late hit and there's pushing and shoving and it was going to be like fourth down and we had to punt or one of those situations, it's one thing. But when the teams are leaving the field, you have kind of both teams running off the field at the same time. So I didn't see what was going on. I didn't see the late hit. I got told afterwards that our guys thought that was the case, but obviously it wasn't from the officials' point of view. Then we went out there trying to get our guys off the field because it was getting testy. You know what I mean? We have a big game next week. And, I think it kept growing and growing. We're trying to kind of push guys back. And, unfortunately, it kind of, trying to get in the middle, get the officials to get in the middle, trying to get them to get in the middle, get us in the middle, get their team off, our team off. And, but everyone's running to the locker room and it kind of keeps spilling down that way. So it's a really unfortunate situation. It's not something we condone, obviously. It's not something that you really want to see in the game. At all, but I'll tell you this: I give our coaches, our players, a lot of credit, and I give Coach Drinkwitz and I give the Missouri staff and their players a lot of credit because how that first and how tense that kind of how that first half ended. It just shows the class of both teams being able to come out in the second half and just play football. Absolutely zero of that carried over into the second half. Zero of that carried over post game. Zero of that, carried past that, and it just shows, kind of the great job I think by the players and the coaches on both teams and their ability to sit there. And I don't think either side would say, hey, that's what we wanted to have happen. And neither side condones it. And you know what? It's an unfortunate situation that happened. But I think it shows that the class of the programs to be able to come out and play the second half the way we did.
Then you mentioned, as you said, you don't want to lose guys because you have a big game next week. I know it's early, but have you gotten any clarification on what that will be for now, just based on past experience? What are you expecting?
Well, you know what? My understanding is that the officials ejected two guys on our team, one guy on their team, and then the first half, so they missed this game. So they missed the rest of this game. My understanding from the officials that was the end of it, right? So those guys because it happened in the first half, missed the rest of this game, and so great learning point for everybody. And the officials did give an unsportsmanlike conduct to everybody, every coach, every player on both teams as well. But being that there were no unsportsmanlike conducts in the second half, that wouldn't carry over for either team to the next game.
Edgar.
Yeah, Dan, the fact you're dressed as Darth Vader, do you feel like you were somewhat of a villain in this fight? I mean, you charged out on the field pretty hard.
I was trying to get our players off the field, because I know we have a big game next week.
Okay. I mean, do you feel like that escalated it at all?
I was trying to get our players off the field to make sure there wasn't, we didn't have issues and have a whole bunch of guys suspended. We're already a paper-thin outfit right now, so.
The other thing, Kyle Trask, what does it say about the way that, the pick six, just the way he continues to show that unflappability and just kind of seemed like he put everything behind him and just played great from that point forward.
Yeah, I think he gets frustrated with that. I don't get upset with the pick six. He got hit when he threw the ball. We were talking about getting it out of his hands a little bit quicker. I think he'll tell you. I think we started. I don't think we're as crisp as we expected. We want to be. But you know what? When you don't practice for 2 weeks, you have a bunch of guys miss practice during the week. I think you're going to be a little bit rusty coming out there, and and I think you saw that with Kyle at times. But you know what? He's a veteran guy, and he doesn't let that bother him.
Thank you, Dan.
Yep. See, I got to look forward. I keep looking at you guys because you guys are over here, but I'm supposed to look forward, right?
Pat Dooley.
If you guys wrap up, I might get some trick or treating in.
Hey Dan, all the guys you had out, and you have three of your starters in the secondary out. You probably weren't expecting to dominate the game with your defense the way you did. Can you just talk about how well they played after getting all the criticism they've gotten?
Well, I think on the outside they've got a lot of criticism. They haven't got a lot of criticism from the inside, from us. It was. I can't wait till we get to play a game with a full defense. It kind of seems like we're playing with a partial defense every single game of the season right now. But I think our guys, Todd and the staff, we talked about making sure we have the guys in the right position to make plays. We've played some very good offenses, throughout the course of the year so far. But I thought they did a good job of making adjustments, putting guys in position to make plays. Our guys, I think, taking that pride to pick it up after how people have been getting after them. But we haven't lost confidence in that, in our ability to make plays, and our playmakers on the field. And I'm really proud of how those guys played. You knew they were going to take pride in how they were going to play the game this week, and they certainly did that for 4 quarters.
And how much of a difference did it make to have Kyrie Campbell in there?
Well, I think you look at that. You've got a returning starter on the defensive line. We lost a couple of defensive linemen off last year's team. He's one of the returning starters, and this is his first game back. And so, it just raises the play of everybody. A veteran player, he's going to raise some to play of players around him. And then it's, like when guys are out, there's a trickle down effect. When guys come back, there's a trickle up effect. And now guys have experience. The one thing, when you have to play players the way we've had to defensively this year, it actually creates depth, and that helps you as the year goes on.
Also, you talked about some of your offensive linemen didn't even practice till Wednesday. Do you think that the offensive line really had kind of a rusty start as well? That seemed to be part of the problem offensively early, and then they seemed to pick it up after that.
Yeah, I think everybody. I think everybody offensively just a little bit slower getting going. But we had guys missing practice all week, and so that happens. And thankfully we kind of picked it up. We're a little bit more efficient. I don't know. You look at the things to me is disappointing in the game. Our red zone offense disappointing early. Our third down conversions disappointing. We got to be better that way. But I think as we get another week of practice under our belt, we'll be a little crisper. Even though you're ready for a regular week, and we still get a non-regular week again this week. So.
Thanks,
Mark Long.
Apologies for not knowing this, Dan, but is this a annual tradition for you?
No, I don't know. It's Halloween. We don't usually play Halloween night. I usually trick or treat. To be honest with you, one thing I will say this. It was something that we started a long time ago at Mississippi State. It was something that, I read a book once. I think it was a George Allen book. I'm not sure. About, his never being around his family. It was written through the eyes of the family, and the family had never, he'd never around on holidays. And so something we did a long time ago at Mississippi State was make sure that coaches, especially all the coaches with the young kids, we would either come in super late at night or come in super early in the morning, and you'd be able to take your kids trick-or-treating. So that as your kids grew up, they could look and they could say, hey, my dad was a football coach who was never around, at different things, and because you do look at it, it is a tough deal, my daughter's 9, I think she spent 3 out of the last 4 Christmases in a hotel at 9 years old, so 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9 or 5, 6, 7, and 8, 3 out of the 4 in a hotel room. I'm guessing, I know it's been a couple. That's hard. That's hard. So, something we always did. So they had this costume here, and as you said, right, is it suitable tonight? It wasn't like I picked this out after the game. This was hanging in my locker pregame. So.
And then secondly, just Kadarius Toney. The guy scored 3 times. Pretty impressive with each one of them.
He did, one of the things that's so impressive with him is, I think everybody used to watch a playmaker put the ball in his hand and something crazy is going to happen. But you watch his discipline and his understanding of how the plays are being run, how the plays are hitting, his production going forward. He had one where he stopped and ran back all the way around the field today. and I don't mind that, but because you watch him, you watch how he's matured and grown into playing within the offense, not just give me the ball and I'm just going to run around like crazy. He plays within the scheme. He sets up runs. He sets up blocks, and then he can make special things happen and make you miss and break tackles as well.
Matt.
Hey Dan, one more on kind of the brawl and afterwards. After when you were heading to the field, you were kind of pumping up the crowd and then kind of came back and did it again. What's going through your head then?
Well, the crowd was cheering loud. I want to get I've talked about let's create an exciting environment in the swamp with the crowd, and I love hearing them be loud and I love hearing them cheer. So I was just trying to get them to continue to stick with the game and continue to cheer. I did that the whole game, too. I did it after the game, too. And I appreciate our fans, you know what I mean? I talked about the challenge of getting our fans here to the game and helping making an impact on the game and creating an exciting atmosphere and creating as good an atmosphere as they can. And they did for 4 quarters. That's why I was doing it in the fourth quarter and as I did in the first half and at halftime and coming out in the third quarter, too.
Hey Dan, can you go a little bit deeper into the challenge you had of putting this week's practice together, man? Having guys in and out at different intervals.
We have a veteran coaching staff that we sat together. We had to change a little bit of our practice routines. But it's guys have done it before. Guys, we look at different things and say, okay, who do we have practicing? Who can be on the scout team? What are our numbers? What reps do we need to get? How do we get guys reps? What guys are on Zoom meetings? What guys are in regular meetings? It just took a lot of organization, and I think our staff did a really good job of keeping everything organized, and our players did a good job of dealing with the adversity and preparing to play.
Nick.
I'm going to come out of costume soon. You guys are keeping going. You're making me hot. It's hot under here.
Dan, I know you. Before the game, you said you guys were trying to treat it like a bye week, but like you just said, just trying to figure out who's available on Wednesday to practice and guys coming back. This wasn't really, a bye week essentially. Just how proud are you of the guys? Sorry, I got.
Oh, I'm really proud of our guys. You know what I mean? I'm really proud of our guys. We've talked all year about, to be successful this year, you're going to have to deal with great adversities, and we dealt with great adversity today. Over the last couple of weeks, we've dealt with great adversity, and yet our guys continue to battle, continue to do what they're supposed to do, we're able to get a win. This was a big win for us today. I was concerned. You're talking about a Missouri team that lit up LSU, that dominated Kentucky last week. Actually, I thought really kind of hung with Alabama for a while and played them really tough too. And so we knew they were a really good football team, and we were coming off dealing with all the different adversities. I am really proud of how our guys came out and performed.
And then your defense able to, the bugaboo had kind of been getting off the field for them, just being able to get off the field 3 of 15 on third downs, and that allowed you guys to have 76 plays and kind of opened up more on offense today.
That was a concern, and it was a good deal because coming into the game, you're thinking, hey, they're going to try to play real ball control, and we got to be really efficient offensively. And I don't know if we were as efficient as we really want to be offensively, but the defense kind of allowed to get us more possessions offensively. And when our offense was on the field, if you give our offense a bunch of possessions, we have enough playmakers that they have the opportunity to go score points. So, that's really how you want it to be. That's what puts pressure. Our defense did an unbelievable job allowing the offense to continue to put pressure on Missouri and eventually pull away.
Thanks, Coach.
We have time for the last one, Alba Verde.
Hey, Dan, obviously we've talked to you all season about the offense and how the first 3 games, they kind of carried the defense at times. And the question has even been at points, is the offense going to have to score on every possession? Can you just talk about in the first half, how it was actually this time around the defense that was maybe carrying you guys at the first part of the game?
But it is, I think we talk about it as a team. We for us to be successful, we're going to win as a football team. Whether that means we win 3-2 or 41-40 is fine, either way. But we all got to play together as a team. And I think, you look at how the game is going to play out. You don't know how the game's going to play out through 4 quarters. But I think, defensively the guys look and they say, if we make stops and give the offense the ball enough, we're going to make plays. And you look offensively in the first half, we have 2 good drives that ends in field goals. Then we throw a pick 6. We're losing 7-6, and the defense is dominated. and the offense hasn't really been stopped. Except we threw a pick. They didn't stop us. We stopped ourselves. Getting the quarterback hit and the ball floating down the middle of the field. So, I think that just shows our guys just sticking together as a whole team and just saying, hey, just keep sticking, going, and good things are going to happen.
And then Chris Howard's performance tonight, stepping up for Evan.
Did a great job, you know what I mean? But we have a lot of confidence in him. I think the team does. They see it in practice all the time. I knew I had a lot of confidence in him. And and a trust that he was going to be able to come out there and go perform. And I thought, stepping in, I mean, from one, you look and you have such a great deal with Evan, but a guy come in and be able to play that way. I think I'm really proud of him and his performance.
Thanks, Dan.
Thank you, guys.
Thanks, Coach.
Wait, Dan, you can't come up in here in a Darth Vader costume and not give us a Star Wars line.
Luke, I am your father.
Perfect. Now you can
Right.
do it. Thank you.
Thanks, Lord Vader.
What is it? I don't know. I mean, I
May the force be with you.
May the force be with you. Happy Halloween, everybody. Go Gators.